This video is going to look at simplifying rational expressions that have fractional exponents. And so it's basically applying the exponent rules, but it's just we've got some nasty fractions to deal with. So let's look at this first problem. There are a couple of ways to do this. There's often more than one way to work it out. Some folks would like to reduce the inside fraction first and then deal with that power of 4. However, if I do that, I'm going to be working with a lot of fractions, and if I apply the power of 4 first, I can eliminate those fractions. So I think that's how I'm going to go. So if I have a quotient raised to a power, so the entire quotient's raised to the power, I can just apply it separately to numerator and denominator, which is what I'm going to do. And then the exponent rules say, so let's look at the numerator, that power of 4 gets applied to everything inside the numerator separately, and that power of 4 will get applied to everything inside the denominator separately. And then from my exponent rules, to get rid of these parentheses, I'm going to multiply there. So 1/2 times 4 is 2, so my exponent there is 2. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Then I have y to the 4th, and then if I multiply those two together, the 4 cancels and I have that. Now I'm just going to do some rearranging. I'm going to put these in alphabetical order, and then I'm just going to split this up that way because that one fraction is the same as the product of those two. Now I'm going to apply the exponent rules to each of these separately. So this one's going to be, they have the same base, x, so it's going to be x to the power of the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. A lot of students will wrongly put 2 minus 7, and that's not correct. It's the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. I'm going to do the same thing for y here, and this fraction will equal y to the power of the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. So that's going to be 2 plus 7, which is 9, and that's going to be y to the negative 12th. And most of the time, textbooks will tell you to express your answers only with positive exponents, so that's what we're doing here. So x to the 9 is fine, but y to the negative 12th is the same thing as 1 over y to the positive 12th, and then if I multiply these together, x to the 9th just gets multiplied in the numerator. So this is my simplified form. Okay, so there was that one. And we'll do one more, and then call it a day. Alright, same kind of thing here. I'm going to apply this 1/4 power to each thing in the numerator. Okay. Now when I look at the denominator, I don't have any outside power here. This is just a simple product. And so I can rearrange the order of these, and I want to group the x terms together. So x to the 2/3 times x to the negative 3/2, and then I'm going to have y to the 3/2 times y to the 1/2. So I'm just changing the order that this product comes into, which is fine. Okay. Now here the rule says I have to multiply the exponents, so negative 1/2 times a 4th is negative 1/8. And 4 times a 4th is going to give me 1, and y to the first power is just y. Okay, I'm going to group those together, and using the exponent rules, it's going to be x to the power of 2/3 plus negative 3/2, or 2/3 minus 3/2. And then this is going to give me y to the power of 3/2 plus 1/2. Now, 3/2 plus 1/2 is 4/2, which is 2. And what is 2/3 minus 3/2? You can figure it out by hand, or you can put it in your calculator. 2/3 minus 3/2. Well, the trick is I'm going to multiply that one by 2/2 and multiply that one by 3/3. So I'll get 4/6 minus 9/6, which is minus 5/6. Or I could have used my calculator. 2/3 minus 3/2. Then press math and enter, enter. So minus 5/6. So it's the same thing. Now I'm going to group them. This fraction is the same as the product of that times that. And I'm going to use the exponent rules. So this has base, the same base, x, and it's going to be x to the power of the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. And this one's going to be y to the power of the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. So that'll be plus 5/6. And I can do that, negative 1/8 plus 5/6, enter, then math, enter, enter. So 17/24. And y to the negative 1, remember we don't want any negative powers in our final answer, is the same as 1 over y to the positive 1, or just 1 over y. And when I multiply that together, that x will go in the numerator, x to the 17/24 times 1 over y. That is my answer. That is that in simplified form with no negative exponents, and that ends this video.